Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to tell you about the topics class members, access control class members, and class scope. Objectives and outcomes. First, in this presentation, we learn the basics of class members available in C++ language. Second, we learn about the access specifiers or access control class members available in C++. Third, we learn about the class scope in C++. Class members. C++ permits us to define a class containing various types of data and functions as members. C++ also permits us to access the class members through pointers. C++ provides a set of 3 pointers. C++ provides a set of 3 pointers to member operator. First, to access a pointer to a member of a class. Second, to access a member using object and name and a pointer to that member. A member function of a class is a function that has its definition or its prototype within the class. Definition, like any other variable, it operates on any object of the class of which it is a member and has access to all the members of a class for that object. Member functions can be defined within the class definition or separately using scope resolution operator. Defining a member function within the class definition declares the function inline, even if you do not use the inline specifier. You can define the same function outside the class using the scope resolution operator. Here, only important point is that you would have to use class name just before scope resolution operator. A member function will be called using a dot operator on an object where it will manipulate data related to that object only. Access control class members. Access control class members are also known as access modifiers. Access modifiers in C++ class defines the access control rules. C++ has 3 new keywords introduced, namely, first, public, second, private, and third, protected. These access modifiers are used to set boundaries for availability of members of a class, be it data members or member functions. Access modifiers in the program are followed by a colon. You can use either one, 2 or all 3 modifiers in the same class to set different boundaries for different class members. They change the boundary for all the declarations that follow them.
Public access modifier. Public means all the class members declared and public will be available to everyone. The data members and member functions declared public can be accessed by other classes too. Hence, there are chances that they might change them. So, the key members must not be declared public. Private access modifier. Private keyword means that no one can access the class members declared private outside the class. If someone tries to access the private members of a class, they will get a compile time error. By default, class variables and member functions are private. Protected access modifiers. Protected is the last access specifier and it is similar to private. It makes class members inaccessible outside the class, but they can be accessed by any subclass of that class. If class A is inherited by class B, then class B is subclass of class A. Class scope. A name declared within a member function hides a declaration of the same name whose scope extends to or past the end of the member function class. When the scope of a declaration extends to or past the end of the class definition, the regions defined by the member definitions of that class are included in the scope of the class. Members defined lexically outside of the class are also in the scope. In addition, the scope of the declaration includes any portion of the declarator following the identifier in the member definitions. The name of a class member has class scope and can only be used in following cases. They are in a member function of that class, second, in a member function of a class derived from that class, third, after the dot operator applied to an instance of that class, fourth, after the dot operator applied to an instance of a class derived from that class as long as the derived class does not hide the name. Fifth, after the arrow operator applied to a pointer to an instance of that class. Sixth, after the arrow operator applied to a pointer to an instance of a class derived from that class as long as the derived class does not hide the name. Seventh, after the scope resolution operator applied to the member of a class. Eighth, after the scope resolution operator applied to a class derived from that class. Thank you.